Welcome back to Dirt Driven. We're on the 8300 rebuild project. If you're new here, this tractor was rolled over up in Nebraska, and I'm gonna bring it back to life and actually start farming myself with this tractor right here. So gotta get it out to the field because the clock's ticking. And I finally got the missing piece, which is this radiator support bracket. It's black, but it's this screen piece that goes up here and holds the radiator, the intercooler, the hydraulic cooler, all in alignment, along with all this other junk that's attached to it. It's bent about 2.5 inches, and I couldn't put the rest of the stuff back together. So hopefully in this video, the front end goes back together, the tractor runs good, and we can go out to the field and give it a little shakedown. I'm also going to be changing the oil, filling it up with coolant, so there will be all kinds of that stuff. I also can't forget, had a nail in the front tire, so I got that fixed, but I'm going to leave it off until I can get the fan back in there. Hopefully this goes well. Thanks for all you guys tuning in, and let's get to work. First order of business is getting this coolant tank off of here, and that's where, if you remember, we left off in the last video. Well, this little guy just snapped, so that was easy. Yeah, here's a better look. This bracket was actually unavailable, so we'll have to see if we can bend this back straight, maybe heat it up or something. This bracket though, it was like $350, but very critical, and I don't have time to sit there and fight to get that straight. I didn't want to have to take this intercooler piping off. I would like to paint that, but it looks like I'm going to have to because this little Allen bolt that holds the bracket onto the block is right in the way. So I got to take it off of the turbo up there and then loosen it back at the bottom of the radiator, and it's got a little clamp on the other side. This was all pushed over, so I had to loosen it up anyways, but I didn't think I was going to have to take it off. So let's get to it. So sometimes on the farm you got to get creative, not only with your fixes but with your tools. So I got to take the intercooler pipe off, and this is an 8mm Allen bolt. Well, all I have here is this little deal. So I put it on there, tried to turn it, and it actually just broke it. You can see it's cracked there. So I thought, man, what can I do? So I stuck this in, or I took the tool apart, stuck this in here, got a crescent wrench, put the Allen in there with the crescent wrench, and it's turning. Saves me a 2-hour round trip making this special tool to get that bolt out. Works pretty dang good. You just got to think outside the box sometimes. Usually it's going to be a farmer fix, but this case is a farmer tool. So I bought the Milwaukee pack out style. You can see the case over there, 3/8 ratchet set, and it's actually pretty dang impressive. You can hear how smooth that is. I feel like I always spend half my time searching for tools, so got the clamp backed off, had to go get a screwdriver, climb back up here. And you typically just have to run the screwdriver around to break the little seal from corrosion and whatnot that happens. And we really just need to back this pipe off enough because it's really hard to get fish out of there, so I think I'm going to leave it just to get a tool in there, get that broke loose. I do have some jumbo sized Allens for a ratchet, so hopefully I've got the right size there. Got some oil in there. Let me know what you guys think that's from. Maybe it's from the rollover, and I was also thinking maybe the smoke we had from the original video taking this out to the field was just oil in the exhaust still from being rolled over. But we'll fire it up and see if it smokes still and if the smoke goes away. Well, the jumbo Allen sockets I had ended up being standard, so they didn't fit the Allen that holds on that bracket, so I had to make the run to Harbor Freight that I was trying not to. Picked up some wrenches because I need a set of metrics to put in this little toolbox, and then half drive metric jumbo Allens and 3/8 smaller Allens because we need that 8mm that's right there. There always seems to be something in the way of getting this tractor done, but we'll get this bracket off here and it won't slow us down too much. This last bolt on the other side took a lot to pop loose. Oh, that one's easy. I did notice that it looked like a Allen socket's been on this before, so I don't know what they worked on. Maybe it had a newer radiator in it before, but we caught a little break there. I had a fuel return line, or a fuel cooler line that I had to take off. And now we got this little bracket out. Time to replace it. I could throw a shot of paint on this, but I'm not gonna mess with that right now just for time's sake. And the radiator's already black, so it'll look all right. John Deere's pretty decent about if something should be painted green, they'll paint it, or the supplier will paint it. I'm just gonna snug this up enough that I can still work with it, but it'll somewhat stay in place. I'm test fitting the fan shroud in. This bracket goes up and sandwiches the shroud between the radiator. Now I need to get the fan ready because I'm gonna have to slide the fan and the shroud in at the same time. But I gotta swap over the fan clutch. Here's the old fan. So gotta swap it over to the new fan. New-ish, it's used. You could definitely put the fan on backwards, but I could tell that the clutch was on the other side based on the wear pattern. I seem to change everything that's in a circle, like it's a tire. Getting these German torch good and tight. Alright, there she is. Well, that was a pain in the butt. I ended up having to go back and forth a couple times. And the key was trying to get these fan blades within the shroud on either side and then pulling it all together. But there is literally no space in here to do anything, so glad I got it in there. Now I got to get these little bolts on the fan clutch tightened up and then get the shroud on, get this bracket together, and keep on rolling along. I'm putting some blue Loctite on these fan bolts. They didn't have anything before, but it's really something I don't want coming apart. Got the top bolt started. Putting the one we just put Loctite on in. This is hub centric basically, so it's got a male and female in, and then they sit together pretty easily. Getting these bolts tightened up. I tasked Andrew with getting new hardware from McMaster. And so we'll see what we have when we're going back together. I don't think I got everything, but I just kind of gave him some bags and was like, hey, try to get what you can. That way it looks a little nicer from the outside. Made in Canada. I wonder how those tariffs are working out for them. And this isn't a full restoration, but this bolt right here looks a lot better than this one going back in the tractor. I was hoping to be in the field tomorrow, but I think we'll still be working on this tractor. So far, I have everything kind of sitting in there where it needs to go. I got the fan all buttoned up tight. One thing to note is I put the fan shroud on and just kind of set the hardware in there. If I rotate the fan, there's a little bracket fell down, you can hear it rubbing. So this shroud's got to be aligned before I start the tractor. I set the coolant expansion tank back up there, and it also has this bracket that holds the other side of the radiator. I started to put the intercooler pipe back where it needs to go to start lining things up, but that's going to block this big Allen that holds the bracket that was bent. So I got to go ahead and get that tightened up. It's just a little time consuming to make sure I'm doing it right. I don't want to fire this tractor up and destroy the front again, because number one, that'll be expensive. Number two, I don't have time for that. Well, I had to go ahead and tighten up the bracket for the radiator support that aligns everything else and that the intercooler piping bolts up to, clamps to. So I've got its clamp slid up. Now we need to put its bolt in. And before it was rubbing on the injector lines, and it's not anymore. We got about 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch of gap, which is really nice now. Makes me feel better about spending all that money on the bracket. Well, it's now the next day. We got some rain overnight, but Patrick is here to take the 3020 up to Iowa. He's going to be planting corn with it. Pretty cool deal. I spent last night trying to get the front end that we got all lined up, buttoned up, so I'll show you guys that in a second. We're going to get this 3020 loaded up. He's got the 3-point hitch on the tractor. He's going to pull the gooseneck around since it's muddy, and he's got a pretty neat truck, but it's 2-wheel drive. You guys will see that here in a second. Gonna miss this tractor. Sending them with the old junk forks. Then I've got the new bale spear I paid $1,000 for that someone can buy if he ends up selling it or if he ends up keeping it. There's his truck, it's pretty slick. He's got it chained down. You guys got to check out this interior. It's a 92 7.3 non-turbo. Back when they had class. It is clean. Let's see how many miles are on this pickup. 97,000. That's a 5-speed. She's a unit.
What is this
Here
thing?
she is. This is my farm tractor. What are you talking about?
Yeah, is it actually gonna run?
It does, didn't you? You didn't watch my videos?
I've seen them. Let's see what we got here.
I'm getting the front end fixed up. Patrick hasn't seen this tractor yet since he lives up in Iowa.
It's a little rough.
It's not bad.
I think it's farmable, but I think you gotta cut
Cut the cab off.
the cab off. You chop it.
You got enough headroom with it smashed in there?
Oh,
Patrick's
yeah.
like
I think
6'7".
I think we can get on the field today.
Oh, it rained. We were going to. I'm pretty disappointed about that.
Yeah, this thing, I don't know. It might be worth it.
And if you guys want to watch Patrick, I'm going to miss the 30-20, but he's going to go up and farm a handful of acres. He lives up in Waterloo, Iowa, just bought a little acreage. His neighbor, the big-time operator, was giving him a hard time because Patrick said he was going to plant it in corn himself. So we're like, we got to show this guy. So he's going to take the tractor up there. He's going to buy an old field cultivator we got, and he's going to buy a planter. He's going to got to find still on Facebook. But yeah, if you want to watch the 30-20, what's your channel?
East Big Rock Farm.
East Big Rock Farm on YouTube. Go over there. We'll see if he can make money. It's a handful of acres. I'm kind of curious myself. So
Yeah, only a few acres.
yep. Now he's got to get back on the road. It's probably gonna the old 7.3. It's supposed to be like a 6-hour drive, but it's probably gonna take him like 7 or 8.
Yeah,
So.
hopefully 7. So
Alrighty.
down.
Well, best of luck to Patrick on his trip up to Iowa. But last night, where we ended off was getting everything kind of lined up now that this black bracket was in there. And then the fan shroud fought me for like an hour and a half. I couldn't get it lined up and to where the fan wouldn't stop scraping on it. I ended up having to put a spacer up here, having Andrew pull on both sides as I snug the bolts down one at a time. It was a huge pain in the butt. I was really irritated that this shroud it's a little warped. Like if you look where the seam is, it's flat, it flattens out. Well, in a round fan, that doesn't work out very well. So a little frustrated with that. But back on the subject of Patrick, if you guys could go over there, he's got a great personality for YouTube. He's going to be trying to farm and see if it works out, farming just a handful of acres. And if we can get him to his first 100 subscribers, I'd owe you guys a big one. So he's a great guy, and I want to get him motivated to do YouTube because this has been a lot of fun showing you guys this tractor journey. Got to get this thing running because this week I've got to get out there and start working some ground. I missed a good rain. I wish I would have had the ground worked already, but got to stop talking and let's get to work. While I keep working on the engine, Andrew's going to attack this headlight housing, take out the good parts we need to keep, and then open the box up with the good hood and the good grill screen that we just bought and get that stuff put together so we can set it on the tractor here. So I was thinking that this was an amber light. It's literally just a plastic reflector. Andrew's got it swapped over, the good one, over this side. But yeah, that makes sense why the light kits don't have these front ambers included in them now. Well, we came across some parts differences. So basically this used little nuts that go formed into the plastic like this. The new one uses those metal clips and screws, so I've got to order some of those. But we're still moving along. In the meantime, I got some more of the front end buttoned up, and then Andrew's changing. We noticed these fuel hoses were starting to dry rot for the fuel cooler, so Andrew's changing those out. We just got generic hose that we're cutting, so here's the old one. Just trying to slowly move along on this tractor. So the fuel hose, I was getting ready to button this up, this top clamp for the radiator, but it's got to slide in here, and then I'll connect it right here. And then the other one doesn't go through that, so I'll be able to tighten that up, and we still got one more hose to replace. Get this fastened down, and this fuel line is actually a little bent from the rollover, but hopefully it doesn't leak. Right, that should be enough, and then this little clamp slides over. All right, still need to button this up, but I think I got hoses to replace these little ones. This was so brittle that it just broke off. And then I need to remember to tighten up this intercooler bracket here because I got the reservoir tightened already. All the parts we have for the front end are all in there. They're all tight. We've replaced this hose, that radiator hose, the upper radiator hose, this little hose, and the two fuel hoses up here. Got everything bolted in. This is a new piece. It's a new bracket. And then I bent this bracket back over here, and then I'll eventually have to get a new bracket for the other side of the radiator because it's a little warped. But now we got to get all these lines, and there's some paint I threw on them where they're all corroded. Doesn't look amazing, but that's going to work. And got to get these situated so we can put that air box that's sitting on the ground over there back up here. So this clamp will hold these lines in. They're all like, you know, this whole tractor seemed to be smashed 2.5 inches, so they are no exception here. Let's get this bolt started up here. You try to pull that, push on these. We're gonna go ahead and get a strap on it. Some real shade tree mechanic stuff right here. We're about to test the tensile strength of the turbo. Alright. Got it. Not proud of that one, but sometimes you just gotta get creative, and yeah, it sucks to pull in the turbo, but I don't know how else we're gonna do it. You guys will probably see me cry on camera if the fan blows that shroud apart again. So that was not cheap. And it was kind of a pain in the butt to change out. These Harbor Freight wrenches turned out to be pretty decent. They're a little sharper on the edge, on these edges, than the Snap-on. But for probably a quarter of the price, I can deal with that. Got another high dollar repair right here. This clamp smash from the hood being laid over on it. Just kind of open it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that'll work and keep this stuff from rubbing a hole in a wire. And all this stuff doesn't have to be super tight. Just snug it up enough. Keep these lines in place. And it also keeps them from vibrating holes in each other. Time to set the intake. It was really hard to get it out of these little slots when we pulled it apart, but I'm hoping this will just clip right in. Just like that. Need to push up on this other side. There we go. That was a lot easier than when we had to pull it apart. And then we've got a intake tube, a rubber one to slide in there. I thought I had it, but I guess I ordered the wrong one. So I've got a spare hose with nowhere to go with it. Intake tube is set. I ended up having to retake this bracket off and put it back on. Got our John Deere Cool Guard tube pre-diluted. Should be about 7.5 gallons back in it. I got more, but let's get to filling. Got 5 gallons of coolant put in it. We decided to go ahead and leave the tire off. That way, it's sitting on jack stand and a bottle jack, so it should be fine, but it's gonna be a lot easier to set the new hood on to being able to walk up in here like this with the tire out. So time to check this thing for leaks and see if she'll fire. Fingers crossed it doesn't blow up or wreck again. And I got it in park, so it shouldn't move. Let me just bump the fan. You want to watch that fan real close, Andrew? Good?
Good.
All right, let's fire this thing up. We got a leak?
Yep, a leak at the reservoir.
Okay. Make sure that wasn't just residual?
It was blowing out.
Okay. And Andrew's gonna fire it up. We'll see what we got leaking. I'm wondering if it's not those tiny fittings up there.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready.
All right, fire it up. We're leaking right here. I can't tell if it's the fitting or the hose. You gotta think all this stuff's 30 years old, so I'm gonna tighten up this hose or cinch it up a little more and see what happens.
Well, it could have been even pulling off the old hose by. Did you take that hose off?
It was broken.
Maybe if you plug it with your hands, we can see where it's leaking.
It seems fine.
Or I have a new hose, 1/4 inch, that should work.
I think I just need to feed it on there a little better.
Or is the hose splitting?
Yeah, the hose is split.
You want me to just get a piece of that 1/4 inch for us to try?
Yeah. Turns out the hose is split. And what we did was I had bought a hose to replace this one, so we took the hose here and cut some of it out and replaced this one, but it's just 2-shot. So I don't have 3/16 hose, but I got this 1/4 inch. And I'm just gonna replace these little squeeze clamps with some real clamps, and maybe that'll hold. Andrew's cutting the hose to fit, but this is where when you spray ether on these tractors with the can that's on it, it's where it enters the intake, and you can tell that's not going to work. So not a big deal right now, don't need ether, but just something to make a mental note to fix later. Got the new clamps. This is in a pretty tight spot right here to get a screwdriver in. But it's going to be even tougher to fix if the hood's on and it starts leaking, so just got to deal with it. Got the 1/4 inch hose in place of 3/16 with actual hose clamps. My dad's going to be our guinea pig firing up. He says this isn't going to work, but we'll find out. Go ahead and fire it up. He's never been in an 8000 series, so the key's right there. The steering column.
Like a car.
And then push the clutch in.
Ready?
Yep. Looks like that's gonna hold. And I'll probably fix this with the right size whenever I go and fix that ether hose. Well, all the drama of putting the 1/4 inch hose on was for nothing because I just found the right one in the trailer where I've been storing the parts. Change of scenery for you guys. We ended up coming up to my dad's label printing company. That's how he made money to start the farm, basically. We've got the old hood, got our net wrap trash to throw away. There was a lot more stuff we needed to do for this new hood that we just didn't have the resources back on the farm to do. So we need to, number one, clean it, buff the hood, apply the decals, and my dad has all that stuff to do that here. And then we need to rivet some parts together for the hood. We need some special screws and little lock nuts, and he's got all that stuff here, so it's gonna be easy to do that all inside. We've got all our parts, got the donor parts, and we'll get this hood fixed up, and then tomorrow after work we'll go ahead and set the hood on the tractor and get it fired up and reveal the prices I paid on parts. Getting her washed up nice and pretty. It's actually cleaning up pretty good. Here's my 2016 Mustang I bought and rebuilt. It used to be smashed about right here, and I bought the front half of a 2020 car. So rebuilding tractors is new to me, but I've rebuilt this car and it's turned out pretty good. Put over 20,000 miles on it. It's in here. I've been tinkering on it because it needs a new AC compressor, and then I hit a board on the highway and broke out that lower grill screen. I got some old videos on it. I never did do a follow-up after it was finished, but it turned out to be a pretty good car. Got the hood cleaned up, and this really shows the cardboard rash all the way down the hood. So we're gonna get that buffed out. Even this little front grill screen, nose cone, whatever you want to call it, it's got some cardboard rash, so we're gonna clean it up too. Here's a little project truck my dad's been working on.
Real quick just to see if it's going.
This is the worst spot right here. Making a little bit of difference down that way, but not a whole lot, because we're just trying to polish it out, not have to sand it
You
out.
can still see the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it wet.
Doing a little wet sanding to see if that makes much of a difference. It's this scratch line all the way across this groove wouldn't do anything. Knock it down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, 8,000 is not going to take off anything much.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like anything at all.
Look at that already.
Oh yeah. Starting to come out.
That might be the trick.
And we're probably being a little too picky, but we figured while the hood's off, might as well make it look nice. Yeah, it's not a restoration tractor, but might as well can control what we can control and make what we can look nice.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Getting there. Yeah. Trying to buff the hood. We're not getting very far on it because we're basically just polishing all the scratches. I think this was powder coated is what's making it tough. So we were using this polish, not really getting anywhere on the buffer. So we're gonna switch over to this perfect one-step finishing material and see if it makes much of a difference on here. You can still see all the scuffs, it's just shinier. We're working down the rest of the hood now. It's definitely shinier. Give you guys a spot here. But we can't quite get these scratches out. And we don't really want to take sandpaper to it or a sander like we did with the nose cone, just because we don't want to damage the whole piece. Typically you'd be sanding on clear coat. This is powder coated and it doesn't have a base coat, clear coat to work with. So need to get the tractor done, and we're just gonna do what we're doing here, make it look nice, and then maybe later when I get all the pieces of the tractor together, maybe we'll base coat, clear coat it then. But for now, we're gonna make it look pretty decent with this polishing compound. Can't remember if I mentioned it already, but this hood sat in a cardboard box with stuff on top of it for 20 years is why it's got this cardboard rash. One thing to note on this hood and nose cone is that I saved over $5,000 finding these parts new in box, and I can deal with some imperfections for 5,000 bucks. Wouldn't you? Well, my dad couldn't leave good enough alone. He's broke out the wet sander. If you guys have had luck sanding down powder coated stuff, let me know down below. I'm curious. It's looking decent though. Got the hood set up here to reassemble it. There's a couple more imperfections, so you've got a little paint chip there on a dent. And then it sat in a dirt floor barn forever with a lot of moisture, so these holes all have rust in them. This is the worst one. Got to try to get a thread chaser in there and re-tap those out. But the hood didn't turn out too bad otherwise. I got the right tap to tap these holes back out. And then Andrew's been getting the headlight housing and the front cone bolted in. My dad's been laying strips of foam. Got all the holes tapped. Andrew's finishing up assembly. My dad's putting on the decals, which I screwed up and only ordered half of the decals for either side. Didn't realize it was 2 pieces. But it's 9:15 on a Sunday night, and we're trying to get this tractor back together, or this hood back together, so we can get this tractor back together and get you guys out in the field. My dad's been doing this his entire life. A little bit of a hack on this 8300 project having him. It's pretty particular. Brand new decal looks pretty. Getting it squeegeed out. He puts down a liquid, that way he can work with the decal. Now he's getting all the bubbles squeezed out of it. One subtle difference on this decal is that it's yellow and the old one used to be silver. I'm not sure what I like better, but the yellow matches the emblems. When I bought the hood, it came with old decals. We're gonna see if this John Deere part is any good. The last guy had an 8100, so I had to order that, but let's see after 20 years of sitting if these decals work. If anyone's gonna make it happen, it's gonna be this guy right here.
I wonder if it's the same color.
That's not the same design, is it? Yeah.
Is it?
I guess the stripes would stop and then start again, but you'd have to get it.
Oh, that's
That's what you're into.
but it's not the same thickness.
Oh no.
See that?
Yeah. Probably just need to order. Yeah, that's gonna look silly, isn't it?
Yeah, because look how big that.
Yeah. A little different. At least we gave it a shot. I mean, that was trash anyways, so. That sure looks nice though.
Yeah.
And then you can see how good the 8300 in yellow matches the yellow John Deere. We found a spot for the old decal. Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know if that mask is gonna
John Deere. Probably not gonna peel off. We'll check back with this in a second. Andrew couldn't get the mask that's covering the sticker off. He might mess with it later, I don't know. But we got bigger fish to fry. Seems like the mask is stuck on there pretty good, isn't it?
There it is. Been sitting around for a while.
Zero 038 8300. Joe, because I was an idiot and didn't order the rest. Well, this is as far as we're going to get the hood assembled tonight. It's 9:30, and then tomorrow we'll set this up on the tractor. We're about ready to set the hood on, but I want to go ahead and change out that ether line right there that's rubbed through. We went to O'Reilly's and just got a copper one instead. Probably be a little more durable, but goes from the ether can up to the intake. I uncoiled the copper line. Now we're trying to feed it into this little nozzle right here. We got the copper line ran for the ether. We need to zip tie it up, but Tucker's gonna go ahead and fire the tractor up, and we're gonna check for leaks because we're about to put the hood on it. That to stand on, and I'll try to catch it when you guys bring it up. Ready? Yep. Go help Andrew turn.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Go down towards you. That's that lever.
Come back. Come on back. Alright. Well, that was easier than taking it off. Looking like a tractor again. Now, if only the rest of the tractor looked as clean as the hood does. This is the last hood bolt. Been waiting on this moment. Front tire's on. Here's the nail is in that spot right there, and they use a bunch of tire soap to get it back on there. That's what all this streaking is. Now I gotta get some tires on the back. Alright, go a little bit. Go down. Go down. Well, we got the exhaust a little bit straighter, so when I'm using the tractor like that, it's not right in my line of sight. Trying to get the bolt holes lined up. Got the quick hitch off so I can put the chisel on. Got the chisel hooked up. Gonna try to see how level it is. So you just saw us overnight trying to get this old Kraus chisel plow on. I think we paid 500 bucks for this like 5 years ago or something. And it fits pretty good on the 8300 actually. But today we're going to the field and that'll be in the next video. But first we've got some things to tidy up on the tractor. I'm gonna try to put that panel back on. That one was bent. And then I've got some headlights to put in. Still waiting on this reflector. And then the second half of our decals because I screwed up ordering there. And then we're gonna give this tractor some grease, change the engine oil, check the hydraulic fluid in the front axle, and then check the gear lube in the front hubs. Probably vacuum out the glass because I haven't done that yet. And then we'll be headed down the road. Got an hour trip today, so want to make sure this tractor is good. And I'll be doing a little shakedown here just to make sure I can get it up to operating temp and don't have any problems. But let's get to working on it. I was just looking and we got a little dribble coming out of that clamp on the upper radiator hose. So I'm gonna try to get a screwdriver in there and get that tightened up. I was able to fish the screwdriver in there and tighten that clamp up, so we'll see how that does. And our coolant level is actually still pretty good. I do need to put the lid on top of here. If my memory serves me correctly, this plug should be the drain plug for the engine oil. I don't know why people tighten them so tight. Goodness gracious. Some people shouldn't be allowed to change engine oil. Dumping right into the bucket. I don't know how much this thing holds, so I got one bucket and I'll throw the cap back on if it overflows. And I'm guessing that this oil filter is going to be super tight as well. When I have a filter that is extremely tight, here's what I like to do. But I'll drive this little ladyfoot pry bar in, and then I can turn the filter. It does make a bit of a mess, but I've found it to be the quickest and easiest way. And then I'm going to save this filter. I don't have the tool with me, but we're going to cut that thing open and see if there's any metal in it. And again, I'll cut this open in a future video. O-ring looks good, and go ahead and put this back on. And you don't have to get overly crazy with them. They just need to be snug. Alright, so they're snug. Give it a little pull, and that should be good. And it's not like you can't look down here and check on and see if it's leaking. We'll go ahead and wipe it clean. Now let's get some oil in it. Most of your cars and trucks will have O-rings on the filter, but this has a square cut O-ring on the filter head. I've got the new one swapped in there and pre-lubed. Go ahead and spin this filter on. I don't have a marker to mark it, but I'll mark it next time I'm at the tractor. Well, that ended perfectly with the decal and the part number facing out. So 5 gallons of 1540 came out. 5 gallons will go back in the tractor. Now Zach probably sold me these 2.5 gallon jugs because he makes better margin on them. But it is kind of nice I don't have to deal with a 5 gallon bucket. I'm going to move the tractor back just a little bit so I can check that front right hub. Check the oil after we let it run for a little bit. And this says tighten to check. Looks like we need just a little bit more actually. Engine oil level's good now. And I've pulled the tractor to where this oil level for the front hub check is parallel to the ground. Got a half drive ratchet on it. Those can blow oil out when you pop them out, so I will stand back. But you can see a little bit of residual dirty oil grime. And I think this front end was rebuilt when the tractor was serviced at the dealership. And maybe the technician didn't wash it for some reason, or maybe they cut the seal when they put it in. We're gonna find out if this oil level is still low. If it's low, it's probably gonna be leaking, and I'll probably have to work on it after planting season. Well, it didn't blow any oil out. And it's actually not low on oil. We might be all right. Maybe the technician just skipped the wash bay. The O-ring on it still looks good, looks new. And we're gonna tighten this thing back up and go check the other side. Oil level's good. Alrighty. Front axle's good to go now. Well, I got the tractor serviced. I still need to grease it, but I'm gonna do that after I button up the front end. I'm gonna go shake the tractor down, and that field over there's got some combine ruts, just to make sure it's good to go before I put the front panels on. We're back from our test run. Tractor did a good job. All the temperatures stayed good. Got the grill screen out because I gotta slide these clips in that I was missing the other day. I got them off McMaster and I threw on a coat of black paint, but that should be all there is to it. Put 8 of them across there, and then I got a light for this slot that came from the salvage yard, so it's a little yellow, and then I'm still going to be waiting on the reflector right here. I'm also bidding on a planter right now. I'm winning on it, and there are 7 minutes left. I'm trying to buy the spare parts that go with it too, and I won the air compressor. The air compressor, the spare one, went before the actual planter sells, and then there's a seed meter and some closing wheels I'd like to take with it. But yeah, so whatever planter I'm bidding on has air downforce. There's a little clue for you guys. I just put the little cap on for the radiator. I don't have a new cable because the last one was riveted on and I don't have rivets, so that'll be a project whenever I get the decals in, the rest of the decals, and then this little amber lens cover basically. Well, we got us a planter bot. I created a membership. It's $3.99, so if you can afford it, head over there, and I'm gonna be dropping what planter I purchased over for the members on the YouTube channel, and YouTube will let me create that, and I thought, oh, I might as well sign up for everything. I kind of want to use that as a way you guys can be engaged in the projects I have going on. I can put polls out there so members can choose whether this gets the cab cut off, the cab pulled out, or a new cab put on it, a new used one, or if we put a chrome stack on it, all kinds of different things. And then when we start using that planter, maybe what kind of seed we're using, all kinds of stuff. So I'm giving away too many clues, but if you're interested, I do have a membership. I need at least one guinea pig. That way I can figure out how it works. So head over there, and thank you guys that sign up for that. I got the lights in. This salvage yard one looks rough. We'll just ignore that. I'm missing a screw right here I need to hunt down. But basically you just plug in the connector, and then these little deals hold the light ball socket in, and you can adjust them up or down. This one's not tight yet, so that's why I can move it around and move it side to side just a little bit. But coming together. Got the fan panels put on here. They're a little bent. Like I need some help lining up that hole, someone to pull on it. And this other side's not perfect. I got all 4 bolts in it, but it's dented down there and it's a little crooked right here. This was mainly for safety because when the fan's running, you can't really see it, and it is literally right here. I don't want someone losing some digits. So got those on there. Makes the tractor look a little more put together. But I'm almost ready to go through price, so keep on watching. Well guys, got the front end together as much as I can get it for right now, but the tractor is usable. You just saw us run a test run back there, chiseled that ground up. I had combine ruts, so I figured, might as well. And I've just added up the parts total to get us to this point. And keep in mind, this hood is on, but it needs decal still. We need a reflector, we need some side panels, so it's not completely done, but the tractor is usable. And I'm a little shocked at how expensive it is to get to this point. Drum roll please. We are at $6,577.14 to get this tractor operational. And you can tell it's not done. We're still missing some very expensive parts, and that's why we're missing them. And I'm a little shocked that it's cost this much to get the front end back together. I was hoping to be a little cheaper, maybe under that $5,000 mark. I did catch a deal on that hood. It was $2,500 for the hood, nose cone, and some of the padding and the radiator cap. The lid for the radiator cap, that is. So basically, a new hood is $6,500 from a dealership. So I will say it is pretty cool for the price of a new hood at a dealer. I was able to fix the whole front end almost on this tractor. But it turned out pretty cool so far. So let me know if you guys think for $35,500 to get this tractor operational. I'm still crazy because it's still got a smashed cab on it. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can follow along and see what adventures I'm up to with this tractor.
Hey guys, it's been a couple days. I went to go install that John Deere 7500 receiver for guidance for a customer, and it wasn't in my back seat. So I guess we're just going to have to pay that son of a gun Zach a little visit here and see what's up, because that guy is irritated, man. He just blew up my phone. That thing wasn't in my back seat. And yeah, we're just gonna surprise Zach here in just a second. I know he's working on that 8300. I just dropped off some more parts for it the other day. Okay, I just pulled up. Let's get that receiver back. Zach, are you here?
Oh shit!
Hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Come back! Hey, come back!